You're listening to the Bulldog Insider Podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health.
It only takes one step, twist, or crunch to know something doesn't feel right. Essentia Health's orthopedic and sports medicine team gets you back to doing what you love with commitment, resilience, intention. We're here to keep you moving forward. Visit essentiahealth.org to learn more about orthopedics and sports medicine, like nowhere else.
Hello and welcome to the Bulldog Insider Podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health. I'm your host, Matt Wellens, the Bulldogs hockey beat reporter at the Duluth News Tribune.
And I'm Zach Schneider, the television voice of UMD Hockey on My Nine Sports.
Joining us on the podcast this week via Zoom, because they're not in Duluth. They were recently in Duluth. Now they're back home. They're two former Bulldogs who probably thought they were done having to come on this podcast. They thought they were free, but I literally did. I badgered them enough to come back on, hunting one of them down at Amsoil last weekend to get back to me. But they're both very busy people. They're about to start their professional hockey careers here soon. They are the number 8 and number 20 overall picks of the inaugural Professional Women's Hockey League draft, both going to Ottawa. Welcome back to the podcast for like the billionth time, Ashton Bell and Gabbie Hughes.
Thank you. Woo! Great to be back.
And maybe Gabbie Hughes' dog may make an appearance in this podcast today too.
Honestly, probably my cat, Rex. He's more movie than my dog.
Cats, dogs, all animals are welcome on the podcast here. The PWHL, it's set to begin its inaugural season in January. The league held its first draft in September. Training camps for the league's 6 teams begin on November 15th. This isn't the first professional women's hockey league in North America. There's been a couple different variations of leagues. There's the Canadian Women's Hockey League, the National Women's Hockey League, which later rebranded to the Premier Hockey League before that was acquired by the current ownership of the PWHL and shut down this summer. It's a long, weird, twisted history of pro women's hockey here in North America. For you two, the PWHL, what makes both of you believe in this league? What makes it different? Why is this the one that everyone hopes can establish a foothold like the WNBA has in basketball or the NWSL in soccer? What is it about this league?
I think the women that are on the Players Association board for this league are very ambitious, and they know what we deserve as professional athletes, and they've advocated for it for so many years. I think them as a forefront for this league is enough that needs to be said about how successful it's going to be. And the people that they've gotten to buy in so far to the league and the investors and everyone that's been passionate about it, I just think they've done a great job thus far. I don't think it's gonna go away anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Gibbs just said. I think just the professionalism and the sustainability that we'll have, and then just bringing it all together and having one professional women's league, I think is huge for our game and to grow our game, and just to have best on best every weekend is super exciting. You
were both at the inaugural draft in Toronto, and that was kind of the league's first public facing, event for the world to see. It looked like a lot of fun. It looked like they put on a great show for all of you there that attended the draft. What was that experience like for the both of you?
Yeah, it was just crazy just to be a part of it all, to be a part of the first ever inaugural draft was super exciting, and just such an honor to be around so many former teammates, future teammates. That was definitely cool just to be there and cheer each other on and support one another. And yeah, CBC and the league did a great job to put that all together so quickly. And it was definitely a dream come true. So
yeah, I had no idea what to expect. We didn't really get like a whole lot of information of what to expect walking through the doors for the purple carpet and everything. But as soon as those doors opened, the production that they put on was amazing. Like my jaw dropped, and I felt like, I don't know, I felt like I was on top of the world. I felt like a real professional athlete getting what a professional athlete deserves. So it was really cool. And I got to have my family there with me. So it was really fun.
How much different was going through the draft process, not getting to choose where you were going to be, at least for the next little bit of your life and your playing career, compared to a collegiate recruiting process where you were more in control. You got to choose where you wanted to be. You got to go see the rink, meet some of the people. What was the professional draft experience like compared to what you went through a couple years ago in college?
For me, I just was a lot more like anxious, and I'm a sweaty person. So I was really sweaty the whole entire time because, like you said, we grow up and it's kind of our choice of where we want to go, or at least like if you're getting that recruitment process going, you can go and visit the schools, meet the people. And this time you're just kind of going in blind, waiting for someone to say your name. So it's very nerve wracking, but exciting. It added a little twist to it from what we're used to.
Yeah, I would agree. I think just like I'm a person who likes to have control over the situation and not knowing where I'll end up or who my teammates will be or anything really was definitely really nerve wracking, but also very exciting just with what's to come. And any one of those 6 markets would have been awesome, but I'm happy we ended up in Ottawa together. So couldn't be more excited about that pick.
Did the Ottawa GM, like we see in so many movies or behind the scenes footage of actual drafts, did the GM call you and let you know, 5 minutes ahead of time or even a minute ahead of time that you were going to be picked, or did you find out with everybody else?
No, I think we both found out with everybody else. We maybe talked to him the day before that they were interested in us and it could be a possibility if we were still around. So yeah, just to hear your name it's hard to put into words what that felt like being called up there.
Yeah, I had, like Ashton said, absolutely no idea. The first 3 rounds went and it was taking pretty long. I'm like, I need a coffee. And over on the side, they had a Tim Hortons booth. So me and Maggie are like, we need to fuel ourselves if this is how long it's going to take. So we're over there and we're like, how crazy would it be if our names get called and we're over here at the Tim Hortons booth next to the donuts and the Timbits and just pouring ourselves a cup of coffee. And not even 2 seconds, we're walking back and then my name gets called and then her name gets called. And we're like, thank goodness this was all worked out that we weren't sitting at the Tim Hortons booth. So yeah, we had no idea what was going to happen or when we were going to get picked. It was kind of funny.
That's where I would have been during the entire draft, just camped out at the Tim Hortons booth, since they've all seemed to vacate the Minnesota area here. You guys are talking about like not knowing where you're going to go in the draft and being picked. And this is the first draft. It's a unique one because it's not just college players. You're not just up there against other, athletes your age or other college players or anything. This was the draft featuring almost all the top women's hockey players on this planet. How confident were you that you were going to get picked? Did you have any idea at all, know where you might go that day? Ashton, your day went pretty quick, fortunately. Gabbie, you kind of talked about it there. You were sitting and waiting. Like, what was that process like?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. I definitely didn't expect to go that early. But once D started going off the charts there right away, I was like, okay, there's a possibility here. I might go sooner than I thought. And then, yeah, when my name got called, I was in shock. I was like, holy shit, like I was not expecting that. But when it was Ottawa, I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, same. Absolutely no idea. But being in the 4th round and hearing my name going pretty early was really exciting. I just going into it had like a pretty open mind. If my name gets called, I will go wherever, whenever my name gets called. I just want to play hockey and be a part of this league. So I went in with no expectations, and going 4th round exceeded all expectations. So
Ashton, you go to Ottawa first in the 2nd round. 2 rounds later, Gabbie's name gets called to Ottawa. Like, who realized first, like, wow, we're back together again?
I was like in the back room doing like media, and then I like see there's a bunch of screens back there and I see Gibbs like got drafted. I was like asking her, I was like, where'd she get drafted to? Like, where's she going? And everyone's like, Ottawa. I was like, no way. Like, are you kidding me? And then we like meet each other at the back somewhere and give each other a big hug. But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was fun. And then after that, I was like, okay, they need to start getting on sods and flares.
Yeah.
Let's get these people coming in. But yeah, after I got drafted after Ashton, I was extremely happy to be with a Bulldog that I know really well.
Gabbie, you hear Ottawa and you're coming back from the Tim Hortons booth there. Like, for you, when did it click? Like, had you realized that? Were you paying that close attention, knowing that Ashton had went 2 rounds earlier to Ottawa?
I knew she got picked to Ottawa, but the adrenaline and just excitement to hear my name called, it didn't really hit me until I was walking backstage and I was like, oh my gosh, like me and Ashton are going to Ottawa together. This is so exciting. But the whole process, like going up to the stage, taking your picture, getting interviewed, you're just like on cloud nine. And
like
nothing. Yeah, you completely black out. You get backstage and you're like, I don't know what just happened. So
how does this compare? And I want to get into maybe some of the opponents that you've had through your college career, because you're going to get a chance to play with a lot of new teammates that you're familiar with, but maybe in different ways than you're familiar with each other. But what is that feeling like being drafted into a professional hockey league? And Matt kind of outlined all the things that have gone into the league to get it to this point and to create that exciting night for everybody, compared to like the day you officially committed to UMD, or the day for the two of you that you were officially named to a national team. Where does it rank in terms of kind of those exciting off-ice days in your careers?
I think it's definitely a top moment for me and something that I'll remember for the rest of my life, just to be a part of such an historic moment and the first ever professional women's league. I don't think there's anything like that, and something that we would have both never imagined growing up that would even be possible. So I think just because of that, it's definitely a top core memory for me.
Yeah, definitely feel the same exact way. It's not about what nation you're from or who you play for in college or who you're playing against. All these people came together to do something for the future of women's hockey. So to be a part of that and be on teams with people from all different countries is going to be super fun and super exciting. So I'm just looking forward to getting to Ottawa. And I would say it's definitely one of the top moments. I was talking with my aunt about it. She grew up when there was no women's hockey. So to have her niece go into the first ever professional women's hockey league draft was like tears in her eyes, because she always dreamt of playing hockey. And now one day I'll be able to tell my kids about this. Anyways, yeah, my aunt was super excited, and now I'll be able to tell my kids someday that I was a part of the first ever, which is super cool.
What about now as you go through the next couple of weeks and into the training camps and the first games of this league? We know you're going to have each other there. We know there's going to be a lot of people in this league from the WCHA. And I just read an article about the Minnesota Wild earlier in their season about Joel Eriksson-Ek and people that it was one specific player, I forget who it was, but Michael Russo wrote about, or Joe Smith wrote about, a player from another team who came to the Wild and hated Eriksson-Ek from his time playing against him so long, just who he is on the ice, the nuisance that he creates. And then he started to get to know Eriksson-Ek during his time with the Wild, and he actually started to be upset because he's like, hey, he's actually a pretty nice guy. And it's fun when you're on the same team. I don't want to get into any like that, but what's it going to be like now? You have Wisconsin players, Ohio State players, Minnesota players, all on the team, and now you have to band together. I mean, you've done it on the national teams that you've both played on as well. But what's that going to be like, do you think, to have kind of that post-college experience with some of those players that you're familiar with?
Yeah, I'm just excited to get to know them as people. I feel like we only know them on the ice and what they're like as players, but I think we have a really great group and a great dynamic. So I'm just excited to get to know all the American players that we have in the Euros as well. So I know most of the Canadians, which is nice, but just getting to know everyone else as people, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy that aspect of the game when you join a new team and you're like, I absolutely hate you because of how you play hockey. Like, you're too good. I can't stand playing against you. And then you get to meet them, and they're absolute great people. So I'm excited to get to know some people that I've hated playing against for the last 5 years. So yeah, it'll be exciting.
The league's not starting up yet. You're not going to start playing games till January. Training camp starting in November here. How have you guys been, staying with the game and everything and such in the lead up to this inaugural season? It's not like your last 5 to 6 years where college, or in Ashton, your case, the year with the national team. How different has this fall kind of been for the both of you?
I feel like it just feels like a really long summer. Like, we spend like 2 months at home working out, or maybe you stay in Duluth and then you're back with the team training in August to get ready for the season. So around like beginning of August, I was like, all right, time to gear up for the season. Like, I just had this big adrenaline rush, and I was like, wait, like, I don't have to get ready for anything yet. Like, we still have a whole lot of time here. So it was definitely like a different feel, but been able to focus on a lot more of my strengths and weaknesses in the weight room and off the ice. So taking that to my advantage. So
yeah, I think it was just the summer felt like forever. And then once the draft happened and stuff started coming out about the league and what it's going to look like, it's definitely ramped up and we're all getting more excited and just like getting ready to get here, going in training camp and head to Ottawa. So I think, now it's getting a lot more real and definitely getting a lot more excited.
Is it going to be nice for you two when the games finally start and hopefully we can focus on the hockey instead of everything else that's happened? I think you two were mostly able to stay out of it, especially Gabbie on the U.S. side, the Maddie Rooney's, Sid Morans, even Sid Brott a little bit. We're probably more involved in what's happened over the last 5 or 6 years. But is it going to be nice to just be a hockey player once games start in January and not have to be the first and, all the stuff that's gone to it? As exciting as that is, it's got to be, a sideshow compared to what you really want, which is just to be a professional hockey player.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just excited to get the season started and play some games. I think like the US group that's skating here in Minnesota, that's all we keep saying is like, I just want to play a game. Like we can do skills and practice and all this stuff for so long. We're just ready to start playing games. So I'm really excited to get that going.
Yeah. And I think just coming out of college too, it's going to be a nice transition. I know like in previous years or like you talk to other alums and they're just saying how hard it is to not be a part of a team anymore. But now that we actually have a professional league and it's sustainable, we actually have teams and teammates to look forward to meeting and spend every day with them, just like we do at college. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I think that will help with the transition from just coming out of college.
Last question before we take a short break here. Ottawa, what has been your early impressions? Ashton, I'm guessing you're a little more familiar with the city than Gabbie, but the city of Ottawa and even just the organization, again, as it's building and ramping up to its first season, what have been the impressions?
I'm super excited. I mean, I probably don't know as much as or more than Gabbie does. We probably know about the same, but I'm just excited about the people that we have there, the coaching staff, the management group, the support staff, our team, the players we have coming to training camp. I'm just super excited about all that. And I think we have a great setup with our facility there at the 67ers Arena, right along the canal, which is a great area from what I hear. So I'm just super excited about our setup and the people we have there.
Yeah, same. I feel like I immediately after the draft had to like rush to the airport to catch my flight. And while we were waiting to board our flight, I was like Googling Ottawa and trying to figure out more about the city and like what it looked like. And it just looks absolutely beautiful. And the canal freezes over in the winter and everyone skates on it. So I'm really excited for that. I think that'll give me a little bit of taste of home back in Duluth. So I'm excited for that aspect of it.
All right. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have more with Ashton Bell and Gabbie Hughes. You're listening to the Bulldog Insider Podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health.
Greetings from Northlandia, a place to bring your curiosity, because here you will find curiosities. Whether it's a look inside the Northern Rail Train Car Inn or an introduction to Duluth's musical roboticist, Robot Rickshaw, we celebrate the region's distinctive people, places, and history. Each week, I'm joined by my fellow reporters who share the unique and fascinating stories that they discover while exploring the Northland. You can find new episodes of the Northlandia podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Join us along this journey and discover the extraordinary stories that you just might miss if you're not in the right place at the right time, ready to step off the beaten path with no rush to return, here in Northlandia.
Hi, I'm Maria Lockwood, a reporter with the Superior Telegram. Explore Superior and Douglas County history with me on Archive Dive, a monthly podcast available at superiortelegram.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Insider Podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. They're proud to be the team physicians for the UMD Bulldogs and provide sports medicine care to more than 25,000 student athletes in the community to ensure they can compete at the highest level while protecting their long-term health and athletic futures. Thanks to Essentia Health for their support of the Bulldog Insider Podcast. I'm Matt Wellens, along with my co-host Zach Schneider, and our guests this week, Ashton Bell and Gabbie Hughes. So we're talking a little bit about Ottawa there. Do you guys have Do you have more details than the rest of us have? Do you know where you're playing? Do you know the team name yet? I think that's like the gem that everyone wants to know. What do you all know? What can you tell us, or what do you know about the organization so far?
We do not have a team name, so we're still just kicking with Team Ottawa. The only thing we know is we're red. Our main color of the team is red. We're playing at the 67s rink. That's about all I think we have. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's about sums it up. I think from what I've heard, they're going to use this year to have the fans like help us come up with our team name and our logo and our colors and jerseys and what that all looks like. So they don't want to rush that. And there's a lot more important stuff to figure out right now, just trying to get the season started and all the details figured out. So I think we might be waiting a year before we figure out our team logo and what that all looks like. But yeah, we're PWHL Ottawa. So that's what we are right now.
All right. Ashton, we'll let you go first. If you could pick Ottawa's team name, what would it be?
Oh God. I mean, I have not thought about this at all. I have, yeah.
Gabbie, you got an idea?
When you ask that, I'm not saying this is the greatest idea at all. This is just what came to my mind at the instant. The Moose. I don't know why that just like came to my head. I don't know. It doesn't sound too great, the Ottawa Moose, but
yeah.
I don't know. The Manitoba Moose have some of the best jerseys in all of hockey at any level. So if you can replicate something like that, that would be pretty cool.
I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got.
Ottawa Beavers.
Beavers? No, we can't be Bemidji.
That's how you said all those old rivalries are out the window, Gabbie.
Yeah, no.
One of the girls were like the Ottawa Chihuahuas because it had a nice ring to it, but then they're like our team jerseys would just be like little Chihuahuas, like a vicious bite. But yeah, TBD.
What would you name Minnesota's team? Gabbie, you're the Minnesotan. What would you name?
Yeah, I'll let you answer this.
I think their color is purple.
Yeah, I think so.
I get like a Prince vibe from the purple, so like maybe like purple rain, but like not like rain, like a throne you rain. I don't know. Like
I wonder how I love the name Purple Rain as a sports team. I just wonder how much they would have to pay the Prince estate in royalties to get that name.
True. That's really true.
Ashton, you've lived you're practically a Minnesotan at this point. You've lived here long enough. Come up with an idea for Minnesota. What do you got?
Oh God, I'm not creative at all, but I don't even know. I'm so bad.
Zach, you got an idea?
No, not a good one. My only one is the Minnesota Evergreens, but I don't love it. Just because
it doesn't fit. And if their colors are going to be purple, it doesn't.
That won't work. It also doesn't really strike fear into you. A tree, but
the Devils,
the Buckeyes.
That's true.
Hearing me sometimes, so.
Gabbie's here to bash all the various other WCHA mascots.
Sorry, we're all teammates now. It doesn't matter.
The PWHL is currently at 6 teams. Let's say you two get to pick the next 2 cities the league expands to. Maybe it's a city you'd be interested in playing in someday. Maybe it's just a city you'd like to visit a couple times a year on the schedule. Thank you, NCHC, for adding Arizona State from the media of this area. Where are you placing the next 2 teams? Where would you like to see the league expand to in the future?
I think we got to move it out west more. And I think Seattle, I would love to go to Seattle and visit there, or just somewhere warmer like LA somewhere LA or like Seattle, I think would be pretty cool.
Ashton's thinking like I would.
I was thinking like attack more areas that like have a huge women's hockey fan base, or just like a big fan base in general to help us get more revenue. I feel like somewhere like near Madison, Wisconsin would be awesome. Their women's hockey support there is unbelievable. So if they could have a professional league, I'm sure we would bring in a lot of money. And then also Colorado or Chicago, I think they have great hockey bases. So those would be cool ones, but mine are pretty lame compared to Ashton's.
Madison's a good idea because the NHL isn't coming to Wisconsin, it appears, anytime soon. That's my home state. I keep advocating to move the Coyotes up north there. But the Blackhawks kind of have a stranglehold on the Milwaukee market and such. So I really like Gabbie's idea of bringing a team to Wisconsin to give them a professional, a top league professional team. They have the Admirals in Milwaukee, the AHL. But yeah, it seems weird that there's just the one team out in Minnesota. Ashton, I thought maybe you'd bring up like Calgary or Edmonton or something like that.
Oh yeah, Calgary is definitely in the back of my mind too. I would love that spot.
All right, you guys are the GM for a day of Ottawa. Who are you trading for?
Oh,
Gotta go for the Dogs. Get Sodes and Flaherty up here.
Sodes and Flaherty would be pretty sweet. Just some more dogs, but definitely can't trade anyone. But if we could add some players, I would definitely add Sodes and Maggie.
I'm saying
get
trade
the
for
gang back together, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe you can give up some future draft picks or something like that for Emma Soderberg and Maggie Flaherty. I don't know how many draft picks you'd have to give up for those two. Right now, maybe you could get them for an okay price, but I think both of them are going to be pretty good players. It might be a little more expensive as they get down the road here. Your GM for a day in Ottawa. What free agent are you signing?
I'm sticking with Bulldog Love. No, I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah, those are tough.
Kind of a tougher one because
It is. A lot of the top
players are in this league.
Yeah, a lot of players are in this league, but there are a few. I saw them around this weekend. Notable alumni that that's one of the unfortunate things I think of the new league that was nice for the NWHL. It did allow some players to continue on, I guess, more of a part-time basis. Same with the PWHPA's tour and such allowed players to continue on. And I did, when I was reading up on some of these camp invitees, some of these, there are some players who are, as they say, we're practicing with the pro teams while they continue on with some other stuff. Neither of you are going after Kleiner. That's the player that I thought that's sitting out there that I have to think someone in Minnesota has reached out to her maybe and said, can you stay ready or in shape in case something happens? Because with injuries and everything, you just never know.
Right.
Yeah, definitely Kleiner. Or I was even thinking Linzer, got to get her back on this side of the sea and pick her up. I feel like she would be a good pickup. So shout out to Maggie.
I was thinking more controversial. Maybe there's a player that's still at UMD that you would try to convince to leave a year early like the guys do. You don't have to get into that, but I was thinking maybe we'd go controversy on the first signing as GM.
Yeah, let's get Man Boss up here.
Yeah.
Which former teammate do you see as a PWHL coach or executive one day?
Sid Brott.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Brody or Brick. Maybe Brick will make her coaching appearance again.
Get Brick back into. Is there someone that would be a better exec GM than maybe a coach?
I've never been coached by either of them, so I don't really know how to gauge their coaching skills. They're probably great coaches, but
yeah.
But they got that mind that could make them a good executive, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hockey at all levels is always looking for more good referees. We saw that this recently at Amsoil Arena. Which of your former teammates would make a good referee in the WCHA or PWHL? I mean, we're all excluding Maggie Flaherty from this.
No, I was gonna say, I was like,
right.
Maggie should have to try it, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think that should be a requirement for Maggie. In the next year, you have to referee one college level game just to see how it goes.
Should maybe have more respect for the refs after that.
Who do you think would make a good referee?
Hannah Markle comes to mind for me. I don't know. I don't know why.
I would say, well, she's playing right now, but Nina said that she used to ref growing up, so she could maybe be a potential good ref.
After her playing career, I'd have to think she's going to be highly sought after in the league when her college career eventually comes to an end, which she said on the podcast isn't going to be anytime soon because she's got one of those smart civil engineering degrees she's working on. All right, so we've been asking, we have a running, I'm hoping the listeners keep track of this. We've been asking people to pick who's going to lead which former Bulldog's going to lead the PWHL in scoring this year. I had last pick. We originally started this with Zach, Bruce, and I got last pick. So I currently went wild card. I believe another teammate of yours in Ottawa, Katerina Murzova.
Yep.
Yeah.
Katka. Basically, I'm banking on you two, just feeding her pucks all over. is my mindset on
scoring, right? Katka's
scoring. Katka's a playmaker as well. That's right. She could set up people. Zach, you have Elizabeth Jaguar, right?
I got Jiggy. Yep.
Yeah, which is who I'll admit is who I wanted. You can't pick yourselves. Who are you picking? And both of your names have come up from people on the podcast already. Who are you picking? Former Bulldog to lead the league in points, not necessarily goals.
I'm gonna go with Gibbs.
I'm gonna go with Jig.
No brainer.
I think I'll go with Jig. Honestly, I've never seen Katka play, but I've heard she's absolutely filthy, so I'm really excited to see her play. So I'm actually gonna take Katka. I think she's gonna do some good stuff out there.
Ashton, did you and Katka cross paths? I'm trying to remember. Were you a freshman when she was a senior? She was another player that, because of an injury, it seemed like Katka was here forever.
Yeah, my freshman year, she was a senior, so I got 1 year with her, and we were line mates sometimes too. So that's pretty funny to look back on. So excited.
You will enjoy her, Gabbie. I can guarantee that.
She's dirty.
Yeah, I'm excited. I forgot you were a forward at one point.
I know.
I'm like, why were you playing with Katka?
I know, it was awesome. I was like, little freshman me, like, oh my God, like she's so sick.
Everyone kind of forgets Ashton Bell was a forward at one point. Would you ever, Ashton, entertain going back to forward, or are you pure D now for the rest of your career?
I'm sticking with D. Here and there, I'll maybe get put back on forward, but for now, I'm loving the defense. So
you play a lot like a forward at times, even from the blue line.
Yeah, you can jump up nowadays and be a forward. So we were saying we got to bring back the torpedo system at alumni weekend, and then just have only one back and 4 in the ozone doing whatever. So
all right, we'll close the podcast out with this question, because we kind of already touched it on Katka being a teammate of yours as well. Of all the players you're with in Ottawa, and I'm going to say you can't say each other, who are you most looking forward to getting a chance to play with at the pro level?
Honestly, I'm excited to get to know some of the Canadian players. Jenner, I'm really excited. She was super nice at the draft. She came up, introduced herself, and ended up texting me and reaching out to me. So I'm excited to get to know her and watch her in a practice scene and see how that all works for her, because she's sick at hockey and she's been on the national team for a while here now. So I'm excited to get to know her more.
Yeah, I think for me, just to get to know the Euros that we have quite a few, so that's really exciting. And then Scams, Harmon and Jinsey too, all those guys. So yeah, definitely excited.
So be honest here, if we showed you a picture right now with no numbers and no nothing with the team, what percentage do you think you would get the names right on as we sit here today? Do you have homework to do before you get together next month?
Yeah, I got a lot of homework to do.
I have some homework to do.
It's like you're freshman again.
Yeah, literally.
It's like almost everyone on the team is freshmen again, from the coaches and executives to the players.
Yeah, it's a rookie season for everyone.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up there. It is going to be exciting to see how this league pans out and what the play is like and everything. There's still so many questions and such about where teams are playing and the team names. It'd be weird for me if they don't have maybe that's just like the writer in me not wanting to write PWHL Ottawa over and over again. Like I need a name. I don't know how the people that covered the Washington football team for those years did it. So thanks to both of you for joining the podcast. If you can move along the team name thing for my sake, media begins with me. We'd all appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, Ashton and Gabbie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great to see you guys. Good luck.
Yeah, good to see you guys too. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. That's all the time we have this week on the Bulldog Insider Podcast, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe and rate us. For more Bulldogs hockey coverage, visit DuluthNewsTribune.com/Bulldog Insider. Subscribe to gain access to all of our coverage all season long, and follow the Bulldogs this week because they are both on the road, right, Zach?
Yeah, the men are out east to Cornell. The women go up, get their turn to go up US Highway 2 to Bemidji. And you're the only one of the media cohort making your trip out to Cornell with the guys. So enjoy it. And we'll see you back in a week when we'll have the men taking on Minnesota in that home and home. Yeah,
planes, trains, and automobiles to get to Ithaca, New York, and cover the series in Cornell. Thanks to our sponsor, Essentia Health, for their continued support of the Bulldog Insider Podcast. And thanks to all of you for listening. We'll catch you next week.